Hello, this is Newsfeed. Rockets have rained down on Gaza since Israel launched its attack on Hamas. The devastation to one of the most densely populated places in the world is immense. Thousands have been killed and the death toll continues to rise. Food, fuel, water, and medicine for Gaza's 2.3 million residents are in short supply. Power infrastructure has been heavily damaged and the internet is limited. As the Israeli blockade shows no signs of letting up, journalists are using social media to expose the horrors in Gaza and their own personal tragedies to the world.
This is one of UNRWA schools in Deir al-Balah, in the middle area. More than 2,800 persons in the school. Just want to show you from inside. Second class. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm inside Al-Shifa hospital right now. It's really crowded. It's full of people who evacuated, thinking it's a safe place. There are also wounded and injured people inside, and ambulance cars carrying more injured people or carrying martyrs who got killed. But after the Israelis bombed Al-Madani or Al-Ahli hospital yesterday, I don't think hospitals are even a safe place anymore.
Rafat Al-Arir is a professor of literature at the Islamic University of Gaza and the editor of a collection of short stories titled Gaza Writes Back. He joins us now from Gaza. Now, Rafat, it's been a difficult 24 hours for you. Your home was bombed for a while this morning. We couldn't get in touch with you. We were really worried about you. Are you somewhere safe now?
Nobody is safe in Gaza. No place is safe. But we're trying to do our best. Israel is targeting churches, mosques, hospitals, clinics, roads, homes, residential buildings. Not one tiny inch of Gaza is safe from Israeli bombardment.
What sort of damage did your home sustain?
It's substantial damage. My flat is now unlivable. 5 of the flats in the upper floors were destroyed, almost totally destroyed. There were some injuries, and my neighbor passed away, and 2 of her daughters were killed. These were in the floor exactly above where I live. At my flat, I had 25 people, children and women, hosting them in my own place. And this is the case with many Palestinian homes that have this case. Every home, every flat has at least 2 or 3 other families forced out of their homes by Israeli bombs.
Have you been able to source food, water, the bare necessities?
No. The building where we had a generator, we had solar panels. We were storing water and distributing some of this water to the neighbors and loved ones in the area. But now everything was destroyed. With Israel closing the borders and not allowing electricity and water and food, the shelves are emptying in the shops. Trying to ration as much as possible.
Through this difficult situation, you've managed to be updating your tens of thousands of followers on Twitter with what's going on. How I learned that your home was hit by an airstrike was through Twitter. How have you managed to update all your tens of thousands of followers through this turmoil?
I currently am in the entrance of a hospital connected with a poor signal of internet, so I can be live with you to talk to the world and your audience. But basically, in the place where I stayed before this, my home, we had solar panels, and I have eSIM cards, mobile data. Everything is very slow getting through because Israel is also targeting internet lines and internet cables. But we managed to have steady internet connection that I can update my followers. But even with that steady internet connection, we can't upload all the videos that we capture. What's going on online, what people see online on Facebook and on Twitter and Instagram, is just 1/100 of what's going on in Gaza.
And amid those connectivity issues due to Israel's bombardment, there's also another issue. Social media platforms have been shadow banning Palestinian journalists. Has that affected you as well?
Exactly, yeah. Especially Facebook and Instagram, Meta and Facebook are complicit in Israeli crime. They want to silence Palestinian content. They delete Palestinian content. Want to silence Palestinian content so people cannot see the crimes. TikTok is also suspending Palestinian accounts. I think we have a little bit of more freedom on Twitter than any other platform. When Palestinians post a tweet or a video or a picture exposing these crimes, then sometimes this content is deleted. I think these companies are complicit and they want to whitewash Israeli crime.
What message would you like to give to the global audience right now about what's happening in Palestine, in Gaza?
Yeah, I think it's still getting, it's going to get worse. With no food at all, it's going to get difficult for people, for kids to eat. And we're talking about starvation, extermination through starvation and famine. And my message is for people to take the streets in masses, to pressure the politicians, their countries. The amazing protests all around the world, in Turkey, in Europe, in America, in Canada, in Asia. We need more in the Arab world. We need more and more of these, so those politicians can pressure those protests can pressure their politicians. If we get to this point where politicians fear the streets if they support Israeli extermination of the Palestinians, I think we can have positive results.
Thank you, Rafat, for those insights today. I know it took a lot for you to get connected to us today, given the connectivity issues over there in Gaza, and I hope you and your family stay safe. The EU has expanded a probe into Meta and TikTok over disinformation on the conflict. The bloc wants more details on the measures the social media platforms have taken to curb the spread of illegal content and disinformation, such as violent imagery and hate speech. Meanwhile, many mainstream media outlets have also been heavily criticized for their one-sided coverage during the conflict. The BBC and CNN's lack of objectivity has been under scrutiny, so much so that it's led to protests outside the British broadcaster's London headquarters. One of its journalists even resigned from the BBC this week, citing his professional conscience. Tunisia-based Bassam Bounani was the network's North Africa correspondent, and he's not the only one complaining about the BBC's biased coverage.
12 people, including 61 children, have died in Gaza. 12 people, including 2 children, have been killed in Israel. Those figures come from officials.
Will you condemn this atrocity by Hamas?
Kathy, I have had this question as a first question in every interview I did, and I refuse to answer that question.
Do you support what Hamas launched on Saturday morning?
Well, this is not the right question, Louis. Really, the right question.
It's an important question.
No, it is not an important question because
whether you
many times Israel have committed war crimes right live on your own cameras. Do you start by asking them to condemn themselves? Have you? You don't. You don't. No, I'll answer that question. You don't. You know why I refuse to answer this question? Because I refuse the premise of it. Because at the very heart of it is misrepresentation of the whole thing. Because it's the Palestinians that are always expected to condemn themselves. I mean, come on, this is a political conflict. We have been denied our rights for a long time. You bring us here whenever there are Israelis who are killed. Did you bring me here when many Palestinians in the West Bank, more than 200 over the last few months?
There's a level of anti-Palestinian racism and dehumanization that can have real-life consequences. The coverage just is entirely devoid of any sense that Palestinians are human beings who are suffering decade after decade of Israeli occupation and apartheid. And unfortunately, when that rhetoric takes off to the extent that it has all over the media and by all these policymakers from wall to wall, we've seen this absolutely horrific and tragic incident in Chicago, where a young 6-year-old Palestinian boy was stabbed to death, and his mother was stabbed, but thankfully survived. This is a kind of horror that every person who engages in this kind of anti-Palestinian dehumanization, they've got blood on their hands, is the only thing that you can say. It is unacceptable. We should be beyond this. And we should remember that Palestinians are ultimately victims of decade after decade of Israeli oppression.
We've talked about how social media has been used for the worst since the start of the conflict many times on our show now. Now, let's look at how it can be used as a force for good. You may have thought Twitch is just a site where people watch video game streams, and it mainly is. But one of the platform's most watched streamers, Hassan Hassanabe Piker, is using his reach to help Palestinians in Gaza. Hassan set up a campaign on October 14th for medical relief, donating to 4 different charities equally. And in less than a week, the Turkish-American Twitch star and his community raised over $1 million.
We have now officially reached 1 million. That's right. We have now officially reached $1 million for the 4 Palestinian charities that are working currently tirelessly on the ground. I'm very proud of this community. I'm going to continue the fundraiser.
And he is just one of many. Social media has become a powerful platform where thousands of individuals are coming together to fundraise, donate, and share valuable insights on avoiding scams while donating. We leave you with some posts from the digital army of compassion, proving that even in challenging times, humanity shines bright through our screens.
I am here to add my voice to those from Palestine, Israel, and around the world, crying out for peace. Collective punishment is not the answer. I am directing $300,000 to charities working to help Palestinian children and people in danger.
The UAE is donating millions of dollars and has launched the Compassion for Gaza relief campaign. Thousands of volunteers from different nationalities have gathered together to prepare aid boxes to Gaza.
And apart from donating yourselves, you guys can also support this list of businesses that are donating a percentage of the proceedings solely to Gaza.
العمل على توفير السلال الغذائية لتوزيعها على الأسر المتضررة والنازحة حوالي 200 سلة غذائية هذه سوف تصل للأسر بإذن الله اليوم.